Alright, dudes. So, I was going to talk about what I'm reading, but first I'm going to talk about the sale going on in Comixology where you can get the first volume of the New 52 Batman, which is like the current arc, or the current ongoing series, I'm sorry, written by Scott Snyder, which is really good. You should check it out. So, it's like the first, I think, 5 or 6 issues. It's called The Court of Owls. I'll put a link. Just check that out. It's like really good. I haven't read it, but I hear it's good. So I'm gonna get that. I'm also gonna get issue 0, and I'm gonna pick up the other two trades because, or not the other two trades, but also the yeah, that's the thing is like so issue, or not issue, but volume 2 I believe is already on the site, and then volume 3 comes out I believe Wednesday, this Wednesday. So you can get caught up. Well, you can't get completely caught up because issues 18 through like 0 year, which is the current arc, still going on. So you haven't. That's not collected into a trade paperback yet. So, but you could read the first 3 trades and then you'll be up to issue 17. And then what you should do is buy issue 18 through 20, whatever it is, and then after that, you can be all caught up. And then it's cool because if you're playing Arkham Origins, like it's very similar because Batman's just starting out as Batman. Or I'm sorry, issue 24 is the latest issue. So issue 18 through 24, and then yeah, he'll be all caught up, and then Batman will be taking on the Riddler, and he just faced off against the Red Hood gang and became Well, in case you can't say, well, he did become Batman because he like yeah, well, he's still becoming Batman because it's still 0 year. So because there's no bat signal yet, and then yeah, whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like he's still getting started. Like it's not like his year's not finished. He is like become Batman, but he's not like completely 100%. Like he's still kind of like Batman in training. It's pretty cool. Anyway, speaking of 0 year, that was really good. Like man, that final showdown between, well, was it Red Mask one or was it that other dude? That was cool. What they did with that was cool. And then also just like the showdown in Ace Chemicals. That was great. Like that whole sequence, amazing. Like fantastic. Like to me, I haven't really been reading comics as far as like it's been a while, and then like I haven't been reading Batman for like I've never like been I've been like usually a Marvel dude, but like Batman's my favorite hero character, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll pick up Batman, and like I've been reading it since issue I think 18, whatever the Clayface issue was. I have like a review a couple of issues or videos ago, but I've been reading since that one, and then like they went back to like restart, or not restart, but like show how he like do his origins and stuff. That's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying it. I liked all the art of just the colors, really good, and just I'm trying not to spoil like what happens, but like the whole like mystery and like randomness of like, was it really the Red Hood leader, or like did he switch bodies with him that day, that week, like when this all started? Who knows? That was great. That was like the good, like so good. And just like the randomness of he tries to save him, and then he just like jumps into like the thing of where he becomes that guy. So that was great. Um, but yeah, Scott Snyder still killing it on Batman New 52. Saga new issue just came out. Man. Okay, so my favorite character is the Will, or yeah, my favorite character is the Will, and then that issue leaves him in dire straits to be continued. It's like, oh man, and then that cover, man. Let's talk about the cover. The pink and like Alana and Marco just yeah, that was really weird. At first I was like, okay, that's an interesting cover, and then it's yeah, really weird. Oh, that was hilarious actually. That like that issue. That well, there's a lot of hilarious issues of Saga, but that one was great because they're playing that like board game with the parents, or the mom and the writer dude, and then they have that whole like part when they're doing like the psych out round, and then you find out after that when Alana and the mom are talking, and she's like saying all this stuff to her, and she thinks she's like getting on her case or whatever, and then like Marco says some stuff about maybe she's right, blah blah blah, and then she's like, what, you too? And then like the author comes in and he's like, yeah, I agree, blah blah, and so it's like they're all teaming up on her, and then and then like I don't think Marco knew. I think he's just like saying it to like support his mom or whatever, or that's like what he thought. And then at the end of it, they both stomp out of the room. Well, Alana stomps out, and then Marco goes after her, And then like the author dude and the mom are like Klim Plom Plom or whatever the word is that you say to like win the final thing. So like that whole thing was like a psycho, and they totally like got to on it. It's like, man, those guys are jerks. Like I can't believe they did that. And then there was like a funny scene when they're when him or Marco and Alana are outside the lighthouse. That was very, yeah. It's funny because like after I read the issue and like I was on Comixology, so like I'm scrolling through everything like with a button press, and then like it shows like the magnified thingy, and then like on the last page it says like, rated M for mature or whatever. But that was a very rated M for mature conversation they had, and that was great. But that's such a great twist on the like food on that planet that the Will's on, and like how, man, that was crazy. How it just like they were basically just chilling on that planet, like, oh man, we're gonna get our stuff together. Or Will's like, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'm just gonna like stay here. And then, you're like wondering like, why did he just like give up on it? And then you see why, of like, the plants and the food that they're eating from that planet are having that effect on them. So that was crazy. That was really crazy, man. That was really good. Let's see. Besides that, I've been reading Battle of the Atom and Infinity. Battle of the Atom finished. And I don't know, dude. I'm like, I really enjoyed it. Like, I really did enjoy the event, but like the conclusion, that was crazy. Like what they did with Kitty, that was interesting. I did enjoy that, but then I don't enjoy that it didn't. Okay, so two things that I didn't enjoy about the ending. So they didn't catch all the bad guys, like even Chimera, who stays in the present time, which is interesting. I'm wondering if she's going to be in like any of the like. I'm wondering how that plays out, like that whole thing with the Chimera, because she stayed behind and then she said, she point blank said, there's still some of the Brotherhood from the future that are still here, so she has to like catch, I guess. But then I'm like, okay, man, see, I hope it's not the the Son of Mystique, because that'd be annoying with two shapeshifters. But that issue is like one of the things that peeved me, was of like that didn't get resolved. They didn't send them back to the future, or not all of them, because they either died in the confrontation, or they didn't show them going back to the future. That's what the thing was. Like they didn't show them going back or being sent back. It just showed Chimera like, I have to catch them in the present time and then send them and then like bring them back. But then like against Xavier, like who's gonna take him on? Like seriously, like I'm pretty sure he didn't die in the battle, because he's like there at the end and they get away. So I think it was Reyes. That's his name. Like him and Reyes. That's a pretty crazy team up of super powerful telepath and then shapeshifter. Come on, like whatever. Anyway, so there's that, and then the like what's up with Dazzler? Like in the future, they didn't show like how that happened. I'm not gonna say what happened because I don't want to spoil it. But they didn't show like who was behind the events in the future that you know did what happened to Dazzler. It's like, okay, who was behind that? I mean, yeah, they say it's the humans, but if you look at that scene, it's all demons and weird supernatural stuff. So it's like, was it magic? Because it hints that she killed herself in the future and gave Colossus her soul sword. So it's like, what? So I don't know. That was weird. They didn't have any clarity or like resolution on that. I was like, what? So, but even though there was that, I really thought that the epilogue, the fourth epilogue with Kitty Pryde leaving with the past X-Men joining the Uncanny team, I was like, what? That was great. I was like, because I'm a Cyclops fan, so I was like, I was not expecting that. A, I wasn't expecting that, and B, that is really interesting, because you have the first half of like all new X-Men of like where it's been from when they've like from issue 1 to now, it's been bringing them back for future or present Cyclops to see himself in the past, to be to see have I gone back of on bringing Professor X's dream into fruition and like being a complete jerk and terrorist. And now it's like a complete 180 of, well, everybody at the Jean Grey school doesn't want the past X-Men there, and they can't send them back because, well, that's a whole weird thing of like the universe won't allow it, whatever. I thought that was dumb, but I was like, whatever. So there's that, and then like nobody at the school wants them there, and then Kitty's like the one that's basically I'm taking the responsibility of them while they're here, and so she leaves because she's like, Storm, you wouldn't listen to me, And then Bobby, what the F, dude? Like, you aren't the man I thought you were. That was crazy. So she's like, this has been, nobody would listen to me. And then I'm supposed to be like the headmistress, or one of the headmistresses, because I guess Storm's like, I'd have to look at the chart, whatever. Anyway, so she's like, I've had enough of this. And then she's just like, I'm out, deuces, and just like joins Scott's team. I was like, what? That was crazy. And that's gonna be fun. I can't wait to read that. Like, cause I didn't see that coming. Like, I didn't see that coming. Like, I didn't think Kitty would leave. A, didn't think she would leave. B, the fact that she brought all new X-Men to Team Uncanny, which basically just like boosts their already pretty decent. I mean, they have like time lady, healer dude, and now they have like first class X-Men. That's a pretty cool dynamic I cannot wait to read. And then it's interesting because like in the issue before the Battle of the Atom for Uncanny, it hinted at like, the future Sentinels that were coming at them being controlled from someone in the future, and they didn't even like touch on that in Battle of the Atom, which I thought they would. So I'm wondering like if they will. Well, they probably will, but because like you find out in like issue 10 of Battle of the Atom, or part 10, not issue 10, but like part 10, that like Shield has like the anti mutant Sentinels that they're developing, and they have anti mutant weapons. So it's like, oh man, that's what's going on here. So there's that to be resolved. So that's gonna be interesting. So right now, like, I'm looking way forward to like Uncanny X-Men and like all new X-Men than I was for like just X-Men with Storm, Shadowcat, and Jubilee, Psylocke, Rogue, and Storm. Like that X-Men, we'll see where it goes. But after the defection, I'm all about like Uncanny and all new, and I don't even X-Men is just like X-Men is like my next most excited. Wolverine X-Men. We'll see. I want more Shark Girl personally, because I thought she had like an interesting power set of like the bloodlust and like the turn into a shark and like the shark strength and like swimming. I thought that'd be like a cool character to like see whatever develop. And then as far as Amazing X-Men, I'm not gonna get into that with like Nightcrawler coming back. 'Cause it's like whatever. Like I'm already like reading too many X-Men books anyway. To like add one more is like too much money. So it's like sorry, I'm just gonna like whoever's reading it, that's or I'll just check the internet for reviews and be like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. But yeah, Valley Atom, really good. I really enjoyed the scene with Kid Omega and future Kid Omega, and the whole do I ever get out of this school? That was great. Like that was great. The whole like 4-on-1 Zorn and Emma and the Cuckoos fight. That was great. Like there's so many good moments in this event. Like it was really good. I enjoyed it. Let's see. Oh, and then we have Infinity. So also been reading that. I guess I'll get into Forever Evil because I've read. I don't know what part they're on. I think I haven't. Oh, it's been a while since I read it, but I don't think I've talked about it. So I haven't done like a comic video for a while, but I'll talk about it. Yeah, Infinity, really good. I don't know. I was kind of disappointed at like how they resolved the whole builder thing, and because they're getting the crap kicked out of them, and then all Thor has to do is be like, "Oh, see everybody, we can kill them," and then everybody rises up. Whatever, dude. Whatever. To me, like the space side hasn't been as exciting as like the Earth stuff and like the Thanos stuff anyway. So it's like, it wasn't disappointing. It was just like it was like they had a previous issue where like they showed the calculations of we probably can't win if this happens and blah blah blah, our fleet strength blah blah. Well, I guess they're thinking about it now. That was taking into account their fleet strength and not taking into account the conquered worlds had they like in their uprisings that they had. So that does make sense because it wasn't taking into effect the battle strength of like the galactic forces of like everybody in the galaxy. It was just like the fleet that they had that was left over from the corridor ambush. So okay, thinking about it now, okay, that makes sense. Never mind. But it was kind of like and I don't know. It wasn't as good of a resolution as I would like to see, because Captain Universe just like I don't know, whatever. Anyway, their stuff though, man. I've been reading New Avengers since issue 1, and just man, incursions, and then that was great when Thanos shows up in Wakanda, and like they go to the Necropolis to find like their lab with the antimatter bombs. It's like, oh man, like at first you're like, okay, what are they gonna do with them? Because it's like they could really wreck some stuff. But then you see an issue, I think it was like Infinity 5, when they're in there, and then they, it shows them that they're trying to like get access to them because they put in counter missions that nobody can get them to use them. So man, but yeah, that was everything on Earth. I've enjoyed this like whole event, like the whole, Thanos coming to get tribute. The tribute not being what you think it is, and like it's not a thing, it's a person, and then like what that person is and who that person is and like their significance, and just that was good. And then like the incursions happening at the time of the invasion, and just like the Black Horde and like or Black whatever, or the the Black Order, Black Horde. I can't remember what it's called. Thanos is and the generals, like 5 generals, and then like the mind thing with like the Maw all up in Doctor Strange's uh brain. That was, and then when they go to like meet the builders on their world, and then like they reach in his brain and like pull out the parasite. That was crazy. That was good. And then Namor and Black Panther, dude. Like Wakanda got blown up again. Like what's up with that? That was it's like, man, this is like, you should think after AVX it's gonna get resolved with like, Black Panther and Namor. They're gonna like just something's gonna go down, but then he sells them out, and it's like, oh, and then that was great. That was great because like Wakanda would ended the Atlantis, destroyed them, and then like Namor's like, oh f this, and he's like, at kind of like at the brink of insanity when like Proxima Midnight shows up, and she's like, yeah, this dude's lost it. And he's like, they're in Wakanda. That was great. That was just such a great scene when he sold them out. It's like, oh man, Namor, why? And so they go into Wakanda, and they fend him off the first time, but then they come back in like full force, and then just done. And then so good, so good. And then like while all this is happening, you have the Illuminati. So you have those dudes just in the background trying to like make sure that they can like a not have the world blow up, and then B fend off the invasion and like find Thane before Thanos, but then that didn't happen. So that was a great scene when the Maw finds him and like gives him his armor, and he that was cool. That was pretty cool. Like he gives him his armor, and then like in his armor he looks a lot like more like Thanos than like he does without the armor. That was pretty interesting. And then so yeah, and then you have like, oh man, see that's the other really good part about Infinity is like you had like the two halves become a whole in like the last issue almost, where it's like you can see the end coming now because you have the Earth, you have all the space stuff like resolved, and now the fleet's coming back to Earth. Whereas on Earth you have like the invasion, and like Thanos is basically taken over. Well, he hasn't taken over, but like they're against the wall. They're putting the pins in them, and then you have like the Avengers. They're like Earth has no Avengers on Earth, but then it's like, oh, we beat the Builders, now we're coming back. So it's like, oh, the Earth, she has Avengers now, and so it's like the Avengers are gonna come back, and it's gonna be great, awesome, final showdown when it's like. But then it's cool because like they show, I think it's Avengers 23, 24, or whatever, that they have to get through the space pirate blockade before they can get to Earth. So it's like even before they get to Earth, they have to like take out all this, like they have this like epic giant space battle to like take out Thanos' forces and then come back to Earth and like kick all the bad dudes off of Earth, and it's just it's so good, so good. Cannot wait. Wow. Whew. Yeah, Forever Evil. So Forever Evil, I think it's like part 2, only on part 2. I really like what they're doing with Lex Luthor. That was really cool with him and Bizarro. I thought that was great. Like how he I thought that was so cool. Like it's like the power's knocked out, and he has this clone of Superman that he's making to be basically, or I guess like he would have like used to like defeat Superman or whatever, and then control him. And so he wakes him up prematurely because like all the power's failed, and so he comes to and he's like not completely there. And then that was great, like how he gave him his Superman shirt, and then he like puts it on wrong, and he's like, "What are you doing?" That was great. It's been so long since I've read Forever Evil. I can't really remember what's happened, but I do. I don't know. I haven't read any, and I haven't read any of the tie-ins either, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. But when Batwoman, Batman and Catwoman show up, and Cyborg show up to that lab with Cyborg's dad, that was interesting because Batman's all like they didn't make it. So I'm really interested to see like what happened to the rest of the Justice League as far as like what happened to just what's going on there, because you see them at the end of Trinity War, and you're like, okay, but then you see Forever Evil, and it's like they have like all their stuff. They have like, they have the trident, the lasso, Superman's cape, and like all this other stuff. And they're like, okay, we killed him. It's like, did they really kill him? And then the whole thing with Nightwing and like his identity and like how's that gonna play out? It's like, oh man, like really really good. Like there's a lot of really good setup right now in Forever Evil. It's like I'm really itching to see where it goes. So I'm really like yeah, digging that. And then okay, so lately I have not picked up a lot of my issues because I've been playing too much Batman Arkham Origins. So I haven't read the newest Uncanny Avengers, but I like that. I really dug where that was at the last issue. I didn't read my latest Uncanny X Force. So after Spiral, basically, or they find out that the White Owl thing that's controlling Ginny is Cassandra Nova. So that was cool because it's like super powered enemy versus team of mutants. Let's see how this shakes out. So I can't wait like read the issue I haven't read yet. So yeah, and then Cable and X Force I haven't read that one either. I had like on my pull list I skipped a lot of issues because I was playing so much Batman and I hadn't read my issues from like the week before and like just it piled on. So I haven't even read the last issue of Ultimate Comics X-Men. So I don't know how the conflict between Jean Grey and Kitty ends. I can't wait to read that though. That was building to like such a great like build up as far as like the World War X. I really like enjoyed that arc of the whole utopia or like what's left of it, and then like the giant railgun that Magma and Mach 5 or Mach 2 or Mach 9, the Mach lady, I forgot her name. That like how they made that giant railgun thing, that was cool. And it was just really interesting to see like Jean Grey as a villain of she's just like so obsessed with like getting back Utopia, or just like showing that like Jean or Zion or however you say that is like superior, that she just the things that she did to like Jimmy to like send her to, that was crazy. And then like her own people like turned against her and she's like, no, I'm right, you're all wrong, and just having a breakdown. It was great. It was crazy, but it was great. I read Hunger, all 4 issues of that. I don't know, man. That was, I don't know. I wasn't expecting it to not wrap up, so I didn't know that it was going to wrap up, and then Thanos wouldn't even, or I mean Galactus, not Thanos. So I didn't expect it to wrap up, and then Galactus not even like be eating Earth. So he's like there pretty much. He's like on the path. So I need to read Cataclysm. I think it's like .1 to see what's going on, but I haven't read that either. So we'll see. But it was interesting to like to see them basically create like a get out of jail free card for like the whole who are they going to save in Ultimate Universe. They have like that giant, or they created that because when or the new Captain Marvel, because it was Rick Jones, but he like became Captain Marvel when he put his armor on or something or whatever. That was weird. So like after he basically rips a hole in space or whatever, it's basically just like you can go between universes. So anybody that's going to be saved is going to go through there, and then that's pretty interesting to see that of like, oh, should I get out of jail free card? But yeah, it was interesting. It was nice to see him and Silver Surfer and like superpowered dudes just team up on giant world eating dude and go at it. What else? This is weird because like I don't even have my browser out in front of me. I'm just like staring at my desktop thinking about what I've read. I'm not even. Man. But yeah, I have a ton of stuff on my list of like stuff I haven't read. Oh, 22. Avengers 22. Yeah, Avengers 22 is the last one, not 23 or whatever. Iron Man. Okay, so I'm about to drop Iron Man if it doesn't get better, because I enjoyed the like way that it wrapped the whole 451 thing when he had to like take all his armor and like fight him and like on the Celestial, because that was cool like what they did. I was kind of wanting more though. Like I thought it was cool that they built toward the whole a super powered Celestial armor thing that like only Tony Stark could build because he's been engineered this way. That was cool. I was kind of wanting them to do more with it, but it's like, whatever. I'll let it go. It was at the end of the day, it's like, But then it's been slow paced, so I don't really want to keep reading it. So I might drop it after issue 17 because I thought the last issue was like the wrap of Secret Origin of Tony Stark, and then I see 17, and it's like more Secret Origin of Tony Stark. What? Like, I guess I might just be in it for the long haul, and then when it does finally like conclude, I'll be like, oh, that was really good. Like, it just got better and better, and then yeah. Thunderbolts. Oh man, Thunderbolts. Okay, so Thunderbolts. I've I've been reading this issue one, and like it got really good during Infinity because it basically just gave Punisher like blank check style like authority to go after like the bad dudes in New York because they're all in this bunker, and then aliens are invading, so everybody's like basically preoccupied with that, and you have Team Thunderbolt going in to like take down these mobsters, and they're really outmatched, and they need Red Hulk, but he's out at sea with the leader fighting aliens, so it's like the team's all split up, and then hilarious, man, what they did with Deadpool was like brilliant. He basically, so pre-invasion in Infinity, they're like in a van, or in Punisher's war van, battle van, whatever it's called, like on their way to like take down these mobsters, and then Deadpool's like being super annoying, and like Frank's just like, dude, get out of the van, I can't take it anymore. And then he's like, all right, I'll just go get a slice of pizza, and like everybody thinks I'm in Spider-Man in New York anyway most of the time, and it's basically just him having this adventure, Deadpool, of going to he just wants to get a slice of pizza. But along the way, he like basically has to fight all these aliens, and it's just hilarious. It was great. I enjoyed it. I haven't read the newest issue, but I have it. I haven't read it, so man. And then like on the cover, it's Deadpool eating his pizza. In the background, it's like the rest of the team fighting. It's like, yep. I hope that happens because that'd just be hilarious. A plus X has this current arc with the Cyclops and Captain America, but I haven't read it. Actually, I'm not gonna talk about what I haven't read. I'll just keep talking about what I've read. So Guardians of the Galaxy, I haven't read the newest one where it's actually an Infinity tie-in. I really want to read that one, but I really did enjoy the whole Angela thing where they let her go because they're like, well, we attacked you first, so bygones be bygones, and you're not really from this universe. So that was interesting. I want to see if she comes back and like what happens there. That was interesting. I don't know. I do like where it's going. It is kind of slow. I was hoping it would tie in more with Infinity, but then seeing that the latest issue is an Infinity tie-in, I want to read it to see, do they actually have any type of do they really do anything in Infinity? Because like the whole time it's like, okay, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy in this because they're supposed to be like the spacefaring defenders, blah blah blah, and then you have Earth under attack and like galactic unrest, and like they're nowhere to be seen. It's like what were they doing this whole time? So it's like I need to read issue 8 to see what's up there. Superior Spider-Man, man. I just gotta say, like, this I haven't read the newest issue because it's kind of on my when this concludes, I will totally be dropping this. Because man, the whole time I've been waiting for the whole. It's building and building. Like it's like it's been good and like consistent, but it's just it like builds, but then the filler stuff and like the side stuff, it just detracts away from like what I like where it's like you want it to be going, because it's like the whole time it's like Ock going to confront the like Green Goblin that's like he doesn't see coming, like it's like he's becoming like a better Spider-Man, and then like you have Green Goblin like building his forces and like and you have like Ock, he's building his forces with his like Spider Mechs and Spider Army, and then just it's gonna collide and just it's gonna be so good when it gets there, but like right now it's like I want to, like I just want it now. I want my dessert now. I don't want to wait, and it's just I can't wait for it to get there. But it's been a good ride, so yeah. Batman still really good. I talked about it earlier, so I'm not gonna talk about it. And then yeah, I guess that's it. Because I'm on my Comixology page, but it only has like the last however many issues that you've bought. Daredevil. I haven't read the last issue, but still awesome. Like just check it out. It's really good. Yeah, man. Really good stuff. Also I read the final issue of Astonishing X-Men. I wasn't reading it, and I read the final issue. And I was like, man, I should have been reading this the whole time, because it was really good. Like cool. Like seeing the heroes on like a personal level, and like stripping away all the layers of like superhero-dom. It's just like them in their mundane normal lives. Well, not really the whole time, but like you basically just see a Warbird of like saying what she's learned as she's been at the school, and then with all the different people, and then she like learned how to become like more than just like this fiery fighter lady. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, trying to think. I guess there's no way to like really. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's some of the stuff I've been reading. I'll put a link to Big Bang podcast, where I talk about comic books every week with two crazy co-hosts. Well, one crazy co-host and one not crazy co-host. And then yeah, and I'll be coming back after this with what I've been playing. Well, I guess I could call this what I've been reading, because yeah, what I've been reading. So this was what I've been reading, and then I'll come back after this with what I've been playing.